All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol TSLA, Tesla Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So for all my first-time viewers or anybody that has overlooked this or missed it in the previous videos, the highest point and highest valuation that Tesla has reached is 538. I want to point it out always, so we can keep that in mind. That is the long-term number to keep in mind for the next coming weeks and months, or it might even happen sooner with the volatility that Tesla tends to have. But 538 is the highest valuation this stock has ever had before the split and even after the split. So keep that in mind. Now, quickly, it went into a bearish run and it hit lows of 309, 308, and those points are very important as well, because that lets us know in the short term or even in the long term, if it was to break through 308, this could head to newer lows and newer support levels. Quickly, there was a recovery, leveled off, and after battery day, this slipped away, hitting lows here of about 352 and some change. And quickly again, the bulls have reappeared, and through the volatility of up and down, this stock has continued to work its way up. As Tesla tends to do, it continues to work its way up and grow, and every single day more investors are putting into Tesla than pulling out of Tesla, and that's what we're seeing right now. And with the volume that it's had, it's actually having phenomenal volume to continue the steady pace and momentum. Even though the bears do reappear several times throughout the day, you could see it in the previous day and even today, and at the end of the day, the bulls continue to push through further upwards away from the 50-day moving average. So broke through resistance and continue to work its way up to newer highs. So we're going to see here what is important for tomorrow on Tesla and what our support is way up here in the last couple of hours. I'm going to talk about it a little bit narrowed, and then we're also going to talk about it a little bit in a broader spectrum. I already spoke about in the broader spectrum for the bulls, which is 538. That's the most important number, if I must be honest. But in the short term, right here at these highs that it reached right before dipping again and leveling off, was way up here at around 461, 462 area. So that is the point that the bulls want to break through if they continue to break through this resistance. But I am going to talk about a little bit below that support and our 50-day moving average right now. So let's zoom in here and see what is important for tomorrow. So right now we are slightly above the 50-day moving average, which is a good sign. As long as we're above it, the bulls are in control. The moment we're below it, the bears are starting to gain control. So our 50-day moving average is 434.34. Can't land exactly on the number, but it's 434.34. And at that point, as long as we're above it, like I stated earlier, the bulls are in control. The moment we fall below it, the bears are starting to gain leverage, and they're going to try to bring this down deeper into bearish territory. So keep that in mind. 434 with 34 cents is a very important number. Write that down so we know what side of the chart we are in. So we're in bullish territory right now. Closed off at 444.82. And for the bulls to continue this momentum and continue to pull themselves in an upward direction from 434.34 in an upward moving momentum deeper into bullish territory, the bulls are going to need to break through the first resistance level here, and it's the highest point that the day has reached. So highest point within the day that the chart reached, and it dipped and got rejected from that point. So this point is 449.06. The bulls want to break through 449.06, turn that into a support so they can start to work their way up to newer highs and newer resistance levels. Super important for the bulls to break through this to continue the momentum and run. Because if they just hang out sideways, as I always state, the 50-day moving average does not wait for anybody, and it will intersect, obviously, at some point, the stock, and by default end up in bearish territory, now below the 50-day moving average. This is the stock price. This is the 50-day moving average as it continue to move up. And that is something to keep in mind. So for the bulls to continue their run and continue their momentum, they have to break through 49.06, 449.06. Turn that into a support and continue to work their way up to newer resistance levels and newer highs. Now on the other spectrum, we have our support. And in this support level, I want to emphasize something. If it gets broken through, you have a window to go ahead between the 50-day moving average and the support level to see the behavior of the stock. But I do want to emphasize that the quicker it moves closer to the 50-day moving average after crossing support, which is 440.07, I want to state to all investors, pay very close attention to the behavior of the stock, because it could kind of get closer to the 50-day moving average, and then all of a sudden the bulls are like, oh, we're going to reappear and bring this one back up. Now keep in mind, yes, the bulls can reappear, stay above the 50-day moving average, and all of this is bullish territory. But for the bulls to have any momentum and run, they need to break through 449.06. Again, back to our support, 440.07 is important to watch the behavior and how quickly is it hanging out to newer lows, or is it slowly hanging out in a sideways direction, giving a chance for the bulls to quickly reappear and bring this one back up to continue their way up to newer highs and new resistance levels. Now, if it starts to break its way down to newer lows, how quickly is it getting closer to 434.34? And if it crosses 434.34, now we are in a state where you have to pay more attention than ever throughout the day, because if that happened fairly quickly within one day, then the volatility of this stock in an upward direction is now changing in a downward direction, and now we're about to hit bearish territory. So it's very important that if 50-day moving average does get crossed by the bears, this could start to see newer lows and newer support levels. Now, another support level to keep in mind, which is the lowest point here before this run, is way down here. It's a lot closer to the 50-day moving average, and it is 434.50. If you want to write that down, I mean, it's super close to the 50-day moving average. It's not much of a difference, but it can give you a sense of direction of where this is going. And if that was to be used as support, hopefully there's a bounce back right before it leaves bullish territory and almost gets into bearish territory by crossing the 50-day moving average. The bulls were able to reappear and jump this one back up to newer highs and newer resistance levels, or at least have a slight recovery to get back to support. But if 440.07 does get broken through, pay very close attention, again, to how this stock is reacting and what is the behavior. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Share this with your friends and community. And don't forget to hit the like button and let me know you watched this video. And as always, I share with all of you guys at the end of the video a summarization of a video that is about to pop up. And I talk about the Federal Reserve in that video and how they are pumping the market on scheduled dates, and the S&P 500 index moves up on those dates. Now, what does that mean to us as investors? Well, if the S&P 500 index is moving up several points, within the index there's 500 ticker symbols. Well, out of those 500 ticker symbols, there are several of them moving up with it. That means that there are individual ticker symbols moving up 30 cents to $3 per share. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you think about it, it does add up per share. Doesn't sound like a lot of profits, but like I always say, profits are profits. I go into more detail about it in the video. I just want to enlighten every single viewer and investor on the great news that there's an opportunity to make profits. I'm not there to tell you guys to buy, sell, or hold. I'm just there to inform you guys and enlighten everyone that there is an opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses while the market's going down, or even while it's going up, for as long as these Federal Reserve pumps are happening. It's a weekly series that I do, and I announce the scheduled dates. And like I said, most ticker symbols are moving 30 cents to $3 per share. Check out the video. If it hasn't popped up already, should be popping up soon. And thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.